This video is part of the Montana Harvest of the Month training series and shows you what Harvest of the Month resources are available and how to access them. Harvest of the Month sites are required to complete 2 reports, the baseline survey for new sites only and the end of the year survey. Team leaders should take the lead in completing the reports, collaborating with other team members to gather the necessary information. Communication amongst the team members is important to ensure that there are not duplicate reports submitted by multiple team members. To be most successful when completing these reports, it is helpful to track the information throughout the year. Take a look at the questions at the start of the year and plan what needs to be tracked and who will keep the records. It may also be helpful to have Harvest of the Month team meetings throughout the year to discuss the questions and gather information. The team lead for each site will receive emails regarding the status of the reports. Please review these status reports. If the report indicates your site is missing a report that you think you have already submitted, please contact us so we can see if there's an error before resubmitting. Let's walk through each survey. You can find the evaluation surveys on the Montana Harvest of the Month portal. First, sign into your site's account. Click Reports on the top menu bar. Here you will find the baseline and end-of-year surveys and a printable version of both. You may use the printable versions to gather answers with your team members before completing the online survey. Now, let's look at the end-of-year report. This report must be completed by June 30th of each year. This survey is how you register your site for the next year. However, if you want to cancel a registration, you can do that by completing the survey as well. Even if you are not able to implement Harvest of the Month as intended or do not want to continue the program, please complete the survey. This will let our team know so we can update our records accordingly or reach out to provide you with assistance. You will find the end-of-year report under the Reports tab. Here you can access the online end-of-year report survey and the printable version. Use the printable version to collect answers from your Harvest of the Month team, but you must submit the online version. One end-of-year report is required for each participating site. If your school district has multiple sites, you must complete an end-of-year report for each of those sites. For example, if you have 4 schools participating in a district, submit 4 separate surveys. As with the baseline survey, you must select whether you approve of your answers to be part of the Montana Team Nutrition Research Study. You are required to complete the survey for participation in Harvest of the Month, but you can choose to opt your answers out of the research study. Click Next. Here you will choose the site you are filling out the survey for from a drop-down menu and select whether it is a school or after-school program. Enter your name and information. Next, you will choose whether you would like your site to be listed on the Abundant Montana directory map. This map will list all registered Harvest of the Month sites and their contact information. If you answered yes, you will enter the appropriate contact information here. Select whether you'd like to register your site for the next school year. If you are registering for another year, select if you would like to receive a new envelope of printed materials. These materials include the posters, cafeteria handouts, educator handouts, home handouts, and a static cling. If new materials were developed, they will be mailed regardless of your selection here. Next, list all team members for the upcoming year. At a minimum, your team must have an administrator, food service staff, and educator. The individuals listed here will receive access to the Harvest of the Month portal and e-newsletters. You can update your team members anytime throughout the year in your site's profile on the Harvest of the Month portal. Next, you will enter the student enrollment at your site. If this varies significantly, please use average student enrollment. Use the most current enrollment. Here you will answer questions regarding the food service piece of your program. Be sure to consult with the food service staff member of your team. This particular section is easiest if your site has been tracking throughout the year. A simple tracking system such as a spreadsheet or a folder with copies of invoices from local food purchases makes reporting at the end of the year much easier. Indicate here whether you use district-wide information or information from the specific school or program site you are reporting in this survey. Here you will enter the total food purchases in dollars spent on local Montana foods, not including fluid milk. If you're not sure, an estimate is perfectly acceptable. Enter numbers only. Do not use letters or symbols like percentages, dollar signs, etc. Just like the baseline survey, it is important to include purchases of only locally grown or raised foods or those containing mostly locally grown or raised ingredients. Next, enter how much of your total food purchases in dollars were spent on specialty crop foods. Examples of specialty crop foods include cherries, kale, apples, squash, carrots, beets, lentils, greens, brassicas, etc. Specialty crops do not include meats, grains, or milk. If you're not sure, an estimate is perfectly acceptable. Since specialty crops are a subset of your local purchases, this number should be the same or smaller than the total local food purchases you reported in the previous section. Here you will describe any challenges you had sourcing locally this past school year. Leave it blank if you did not have any sourcing challenges. Next, you will list the business names of the local Montana vendors, food businesses, and farmers from whom your school or after-school program's food service has purchased food. Please list only the business name and separate by commas. Here you will select how often each food was served in your food service program that was grown locally or in Montana. The food could be in a meal, snack, or salad bar. This page asks questions regarding the educators or administrators on your team. Be sure to consult with them to answer these questions accurately. First, list the number of students who participated in Harvest of the Month educational activities at your school or after-school program site. If conducting school-wide, you can use total school enrollment. Do not duplicate students. For example, if a classroom of 30 students participated in Harvest of the Month activities each month, 10 activities, they count as 30 unduplicated students. Here, select how long, on average, the Harvest of the Month educational activities lasted. This page asks promotion and implementation questions. First, describe your site's main challenges in implementing Harvest of the Month. How did you overcome these challenges? What do you need to overcome the remaining challenges? Next, describe if and how the coronavirus pandemic affected your Harvest of the Month site. Here you can share any recommendations you have for improving Harvest of the Month. Finally, share any stories of success or photos with us. Be sure to click Submit when you are done. If you would like to go back to a page, click Back. These reports and the evaluation requirements may change over time, with questions being refined, added, or removed. They are updated at the beginning of each school year. It is a good idea to meet with your Harvest of the Month team at the beginning of each school year to discuss your plan and roles, review the reports, and refresh with new or archived trainings. One change we hope to bring to you soon is seeing the status of your reports on your site's profile on the Harvest of the Month portal as well as your past reports. Any significant changes will be communicated via the monthly e-newsletters or special email announcements. This and other training videos can be found on the Montana Harvest of the Month YouTube channel and the Harvest of the Month portal under Trainings.